Hey everyone, welcome to Our Small Footprint. My name is Nyssa. If you're new here, we are a large family living off-grid in Australia. Alrighty, I need to collate some bits and pieces of footage to make the grocery video work. So we did our 6-weekly grocery shop, or it was 5. It had only been 5 weeks between the last one, but 6-weekly grocery shop. And now I need to share. I didn't do a whole lot of shop with me because I had Sonnet with me, and I'm not very good at it, and Sonnet was all over the place, and a lot of people always say, why don't you take a child to help you out? And honestly, having a child with me is more work. That's just the way it is. She's 12, almost 13, and she's very well behaved and everything else, but she still requires a lot more maintenance. She eats far more often than I would eat when I'm out. She uses the toilet far more often than I do when I'm out. We had to stop a couple of times on the way home for her to use the bathroom and stuff like that, whereas normally I just drive all the way through. And she never stops talking, which is great, but normally I drive and I just sort of switch off and I think about everything that I need to do and all the rest of it while I'm driving. I didn't get any of that. Normally of an evening when I'm there, after we've spent the day shopping, I just sit on the couch with mum and watch television and have just, we chat, but we just, she doesn't stop. So everyone always says, take kid with you and make it easier and all the rest of it, and it's good for them and everything, and cool, but do you know what? It's kind of a lot of work. So anyway, we did a bit of a little snippet of shopping, but not very much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that clip in here now of the bits and pieces of shopping that we did capture. I did put it all together, and it's only like 5 minutes worth of footage, but I'll put that in now so you can see that. And then I'll come back and discuss the groceries, and we'll show you the groceries. And then at the end of the groceries, I'll give you all the dollar values and things like that. So enjoy this little snippet. It's 8:40 a.m. and we've just hit Carindale. So Sonnet needs her second breakfast. So we're going to go get second breakfast and then we will start our shop. Sonnet had fun picking stuff for siblings and stuff, but we grabbed a few things. We went shopping at Big W, so we grabbed a bunch of different graphic novels. So these Real Pigeons ones, and there's some Minecraft ones, and these different ones that I'd seen, this Warriors series and some Five Nights at Freddy's and things like that. There was 5 for 15 or 5 for 12 of these pattern socks that I let Sonnet pick some out of because she always likes the pattern socks. We needed some scissors that weren't on the click and collect order. We needed some new Uno cards and some texters, highlighters, and then Sonnet had fun picking a few things out. So these little tiny ducks for Apollo, and these bunny binoculars for Kavik, and a little cat keyring, I think that was for Apollo as well, and then some more colouring books for the boys as well. So there's some cozy colouring ones here, and one that has bunnies and dragons for Kavik. And yeah, just a bunch of different, the first in the series of a few of these books, so that the kids can have a look and I can buy more of them if they like them, was the idea. So we're just unloading, and Apollo needed a new keyboard, and we got some hair dye for the kids, and Sonnet picked out some deodorant and stuff like that. So we're going to unload this at Mum's car, and then we're going to move on to the next place. Hey everyone, here it is Friday morning, so we are doing the bulk of the shopping. We've just finished at Mum's and collected all the groceries off her veranda there. She's dropped them over to us, so Sonnet's bringing the last of it to the, and we're finishing loading up the trailer. So there's a little bit of food left in from Aldi and Mum's car, so I'm going to bring that up and shove some of that in here. We'll put the lid down, and then we'll start stacking the crates and stuff on top, and then we've got the table and the clothes hanger thing and everything to go in here as well, along with all the other bits and pieces that Sonnet spoiled everyone with while we were here. So it's Kavik's birthday today, so we've got a few gifts for him, and some things for the twins and Apollo and her as well, because, you know, when you bring a child shopping, that's what happens. So I got my new chairs and table and stuff, and we'll get this all sorted into the trailer before we get going. It is 5 to 8. Oh, yes, it's tasty. Chicken burgers. Pardon? Did you try the chicken garlic balls from here? Were they nice? nice cut up in like pasta dishes and stuff, that really thick stuff, wouldn't it? What's the price on it? See on the front. Sonnet, what does it say the thick bacon pieces are on the front there? So $4.99 a kilo for the traditional thick cut bacon. So basically just like pork to use as for cooking with. Something already. It's cold. Rib fillets $35. Porterhouse is $25. Brisket $16. Beef rib $17. Pickled pork. Because people like to see butchers. And when these run special, they're really good price, but $25 a kilo is not really. They sell beef tallow now. They sell beef tallow. Pork belly bites, but I'll just buy some pork belly at Costco anyway. Yes, I know. Instead of a break, it's having you with me. Drumsticks $2.99, $2 chicken, $4.12. Fruit and veg done, butcher done, and now we're heading back to the car. We're walking because Mum's car is too loaded full, and I'll show you the back of her car when we get to Costco. Costco's only just open. We just hit it. So we got good park. This is all the fruit and veg in the back of Mum's. We're going to move it into the back of mine because the weather's really bad. So if it rains, then when we come out, we don't want to be doing this in the rain. So we'll move it in the back of the X-Trail for now and pack around it. Thermoflask insulated jars. These are quite cute, and I've looked at them a few times, but they're quite expensive. But they're $7 off this trip. So for lunches, we will give these a go. Look out for you. Australian themed cutting board. Mum was saying I could use it on the videos and stuff, but then we'd ruin it. It's $40 bamboo, not the it's more of a grazing board than a cutting board, and we don't really have use for it, but it's pretty cool. Sonnet's declaring that she needs them. She doesn't need them, but these are very cute. All right, so grocery wise, for anyone coming in at this point to check us out, there is 7 of us. We live off grid in Australia, and we basically don't go anywhere. I have started a new job, which means I will have to pack myself some lunches a couple of days a week, which is something new. Normally we just cook to eat. And Darryl goes into Toowoomba every now and again for medical appointments or to Bunnings or whatever. Town is about half an hour away, and we can collect things as needed. But generally speaking, what I try and do is get everything that we're going to need for the shop in this one trip, which is why I do these trips. Looking at my timetable and school holidays and things like that, I'm probably going to go every 6 weeks this year. I've already written down some dates, and I think that it'll work. It'll mean that it's only once during the term for me to shuffle some work time, and then once in each school holidays, which also gives me the opportunity to, if I decide to take a child with me, I can take one during school holidays, sort of thing. But yes, so let's have a look at the groceries first. We lay them all out on the table after table, and I share them all. So let's have a look at those first, and then I'll come back and I'll discuss the cost for the month. First table, we have a couple of bottles of white vinegar. Sonnet wanted something for the dogs to chew on, so we just got them some pig's ears that were on sale at Costco. I bought a bulk pack of the Viva paper towels. We just had to open it to fit it in the trailer, so they're loose around. I got some of this Turkish bread from Costco just because I really like Turkish bread, and it was $9 for all of this, so I'm going to freeze some as well. A couple of packs of the tortillas that the kids use. There is still some left, so these are just extras. A new baking paper because I had run out. A new pack of the gallon Ziplocs. Now the Kirkland Ziplocs we found just as good as the Ziploc brand, so that's good because they're cheaper. One of the boxes of the lychee drink that I really like. I actually still have a 6-pack left from last month, but I just bought another box and I'll drink them more if they'll roll over to the next month. 12 packets of the plain rice crackers. They still have a box of seaweed left. Hot dog buns because we always have hot dogs for dinner on grocery night. I got a bunch of half-price Oreos from wherever they were half-price. Coles or Woolworths had them half-price, so I grabbed a bunch of those. A maple syrup. We've already got one on the shelf, but it's better to have more than not enough for when I want to use it for baking or making granola or whatever, and it doesn't go off, so it can just sit on the shelf. Some sesame oil, to refill my sesame oil jar. I got a honey. We do have some honey left, but I'm just not sure how much. So again, I thought I'd grab a honey. Now these 2 kilo honeys at the Kirkland brand are only $14.95 for the 2 kilos. So they're well and truly worth the money. I grabbed some white pepper just because a lot of the things I've been making lately has been asking for white pepper. So I grabbed white pepper. Sonnet spotted this and it was on special. It was like $3 off or something. So I let her grab that. I grabbed an extra Knorr chicken powder, an extra oyster sauce and sweet soy sauce. I think with both of these, we have a spare one, but this will just be an extra one for the shelf. I grabbed 2 of the UHT coconut milks. This is what the kids use in their hot drinks, like the hot chocolates and stuff. I grabbed an anchovies for Darryl. So Darryl uses these on pizza and stuff, so we don't need many of them. We have one open at the moment, and this is just a spare for the shelf. I grabbed a couple of these boxes of the Barilla pasta rigatoni. I wanted this shape, but also I've been looking at pasta lately I buy just the home brand, whatever's cheapest, and I'm really not a fan of dried pasta and apparently this brand is a lot better. So I just wanted to compare it. It's more expensive. It's probably double the price than the home brand stuff, but we don't eat a huge amount of pasta, so I'm going to give that a go. And I didn't actually buy any other pasta. I don't think we didn't need any spirals, penne, spaghetti, nothing. We've got plenty because we just haven't been eating it as much lately. I grabbed a squeezy molasses because I've only got the black strap at the moment, and some things just need the more mild molasses. I got a dried yeast. We have a spare one on the shelf, and I just opened one. So this is just a backup one. The kids love these dehydrated vegetables. So we got the veggie crisps and the tempura ones. They both really like them. They're about $9 to $11 per pack, and the kids just really adore them. 2 of the lemon juice because we are out of lemon juice. The coffee concentrate was half price from Wednesday somewhere, Coles I think it was. So I grabbed half a dozen of these. We've discussed these before, but I can make this coffee concentrate, but it costs almost the same as buying it when it's half price. And this is more stable. So whatever the preservatives, gums, whatever it is that they put in there, the acidity regulator, it says it's sodium bicarbonate, whatever it is that they put in there, from the top to the bottom of these bottles, it tastes exactly the same. Whereas when you make it yourself, when you get to the bottom of the concentrate, it tastes different to at the top. It's bitter and it's just not as pleasant. So it's worth it. If I buy them half price, I buy these. I got 8 of the sugar-free lemonade that were half price, where Coles or Woolworths had them half price. I grabbed it there for the kids to use in the slushy machine. I also grabbed a couple of different juices to experiment with, some juice-based ones, a mango, a pineapple, and a breakfast juice to use in the slushy for making some like mocktail type stuff. The protein stuff was half price at Coles or Woolworths, one of the two. So I just grabbed Darryl a couple of these protein chips that he really likes, but they're even half price. They're $3 something a bag, so I don't buy them often, but he does really like them. And a couple of I think there's a couple more of these somewhere, a couple of the protein bars that were half price as well. So I think they were $2.25 because they're half price. What else did we get? I got 10 kilos of raw sugar. The plan is to do some jams and stuff, so I needed some extra sugar. There is some still here. This is just to bump it up. I got 1 bag of coffee beans because I found 5 when I was doing inventory, so I only grabbed 1 more, and that should be plenty and still have some left at the end of the month. A fish sauce, some of the lemon lime orange sugar-free cordial. This is Darryl's preferred flavour. We still have a couple of the other flavours left on the shelf, but we didn't have this one, so I grabbed that one. Yellow mustard that we use for things like hot dogs and stuff. We don't use it. I use Dijon for most things, but we use this for hot dogs and that. And we're on the end of one of the bottles, so we buy it about every 3rd trip or whatever. I got myself some of the chicken cheezels that I really love. Everyone got some snacks this trip, but I grabbed these ones that were half price or 2 for $5 or whatever they were. And I will eat them throughout the whole month. They will last a lot longer than the kids' ones will. I grabbed 4 boxes of rice bubbles. We didn't need any Wheat Bix. We didn't need any coconuts, cornflakes, nothing like that. There was only 5 rice milk on the shelf, but we still have a dozen in the cupboard because the kids just haven't been eating cereal as much lately. So I just grabbed the 5. If Darryl goes into Toowoomba, can always grab another 12-pack from the Aldi in there if need be. I bought 20 of the tins of coconut cream from Coles because 20 is the max you can buy in one go. So I just grabbed 20 of them. I don't think there's any left on the shelf. I think might be a few. So we go through about this amount easily in the period. And the corn chips. So I've started buying these instead of the Coles brand corn chips because we just prefer these ones, and they have come down in price. They're $4 a bag, which ends up being about $1.50 per 100. The Coles ones used to be $1.15 per 100, which is why I bought them. They were just so much cheaper, but they're up to like $1.35 per 100, so they're not a whole lot cheaper, and they're just not as good. These ones are really thick, which is great for scooping salsa and having with nachos and stuff. And these were half price, and I thought the kids might like to try a different flavour, so I grabbed them those. I bought these, I'm going to clear some stuff, the little triangular ice blocky things. I used to have them all the time when I was a kid, Sunny Boys or something, I don't know what they were called. Anyway, these ones are a box of 32 cola, strawberry, exotic and raspberry frozen lolly ice block things. And I think that was like $20 for 32 of them. I thought that that was just a nice summer treat for the kids. I grabbed some peanut oil for chili crisp oil, some vegetable oil for frying in, some malt vinegar because I have some plums that I have put away that I want to make Worcestershire sauce with, a 6-pack of passata because I'm making bolognese, and a 6-pack of the woody tomatoes that I like for bolognese as well. And I bought myself the little thermo flask things from Costco as well. I think that is everything that is out on this first table. All right, second table. Now the pantry and food goods were it was a pretty small shop overall, so we've only got this, and then we'll do the veggies and meat and stuff. So I got half a dozen packs of the scourers like I normally do, toothpicks, tampons, we've got dishwashing gloves, we got the Costco sells a bunch of different vitamins and stuff. We got some cranberry, I got half a dozen of the automatic insect sprays, the Bulldog face wash that I buy for one of the kids, and cleaning stuff. We've got these Herbal Essence white strawberry and mint shampoo and conditioner that sounded really nice and were marked down to $11 each, so we grabbed those. Some of the goat's milk soap from Aldi that I always buy. Bunch of the cat food. This cat food was on sale. I think it was $10 a box. It worked out to be fairly inexpensive. The cats did not particularly like the tins. They do prefer these ones, these Felix branded ones. So they go on special quite often. I also did some research on the best rated supermarket wet foods, and this is one of the highest ones. They get a very good all-round biscuit for the rest of the time. This is just their evening treats. So that's what I grabbed for them for this month. We got dishwashing liquid, some garbage bags, some extra toothbrushes for the bathroom, some popping corn. I grabbed these are the Cheezels, and these are my two favourite flavours of chips at the moment. I actually bought this one because we'd never tried it. It was supposed to be for the drive home and I didn't end up eating it. Looks like this bag's been popped, so I might have to eat that one and just, I'll have to, oh no. Eat it, dang it. This is the corn flour I normally buy. This is cheaper, but this one, I think this one has additives in it, and I'm not sure whether it's I decided I'd buy both and I'd see how I feel about this one compared to the white wings. I did buy some protein penne because it was on sale actually, and I said I didn't buy any other pasta. Some baking powder, a couple of red curry paste. We have a couple of red left, and we have half a dozen green, so I just wanted a couple more red. Some sugar-free hot chocolate for Darryl. So I said Sonnet could buy a bag of turtle chips to share with everyone, so she got a bag of turtle chips from Costco, and I got 4 of the dumpling sauces that we really like. I do need to figure out what's in it and just make it myself, but it is really nice, so I bought some of those. They're only like $2.85, I think, the Mr. Chen's brand. It's a good price. And then a slab of corn kernels because we had run out. 2 big things of the Quilton toilet paper, and that's the rest of the paper towel that was in the big bag that we opened. So that's table number 2. These 2 got missed. I got a 5 kilo bag of black beans at Costco, which was a good score because we just used the last of the dried black beans, and a bottle of soy sauce, so they got missed, so those 2 can go away as well. Alrighty, next lot of stuff. I bought a big thing of spinach from Costco. I was planning on potentially dehydrating some of this to use as sprinkles over soups and stuff, but I'll freeze some if I don't use it too, but just try and use some in the first week, few days before it goes yuck. Though it has been sitting in the car and it's already a little bit sad, so we'll need to fluff it up and put it in the fridge. Couple of bags of carrots, box of mushrooms. Now all the fruit and veg that I bought from the fruit and veg store today, it was $471, I think, but I don't really remember most of the individual prices. I think the mushrooms were $25 or something. I got some pak choy from Costco to have with those crispy noodles as a stir fry, some cos hearts initially for salads and hamburgers and things like that. I got a flat of raspberries. These were, I think, $1.50 per punnet. They were really cheap. We're going to have to put them basically straight in the freezer because they do not go very well having been in the car all this time. I got 3 boxes of grapes. They were $10 each. They are a nice, just a green table grape, and they're actually really nice, but they were on clearance for $10 a box. I'll probably give a box of them to the neighbours. We'll freeze a box straight up and they can eat a box. I got 10 flats of blueberries. These were only $10 a flat as well. So like $1 per punnet or whatever it ends up being. And again, I'll give a couple of these to the neighbour. She'll buy them off me, and the rest we will eat and freeze to use for muffins and jams and whatever we want to use. Box of apples, probably a 10-kilo box of apples. We just hadn't had apples for a couple of shops, so I decided to grab some apples. The limes were, I think it was $24 for the box, which is a really good price for limes, and we've run out of ice cubes of lime juice, so we'll need to juice a whole bunch of these to freeze the lime juice. A box of mangoes. We still have plenty of mango in the freezer because I bought like 4 boxes of mangoes last trip. So I just bought a cheap box of mangoes for fresh eating because we don't really need any for the fridge, but we will put some in the freezer if we don't end up eating them all in amongst everything else that we got. 2 bags of white potatoes. These were 5-kilo bags for $6, so I grabbed 2 bags of those. I just need to make sure I use them. And another bag of onions because I didn't get around to using the other bag and it went bad. So that is the first lot of fruit. All right, we got a box of broccoli. It wasn't particularly cheap. I think it was like $45 or something for the box, but as I said to the guy, $38, whatever it was. It's an 8-kilo box generally, and you pay $6.50 a kilo for frozen broccoli. So that's still an okay deal for fresh. A box of cheap zucchini. Some of them are a little worse for wear, but they will be fine. We will pull the worst ones out, grate them and freeze them. I did get a box of nectarines and a box of peaches. They were cheap, 22, I think, 24 for the boxes. We have a whole lot frozen, but this will just be fresh eating, which is why I only got 1 box of each. There's the other bag of potatoes. I got a couple of bunches of spring onions and a celery for stock and stuff. And then I wanted some cucumbers, and these were the cheapest ones, were the ones that were on trays. So he gave me what he had left of the trade cucumbers. A box of beans. These were inexpensive. I can't remember what they cost, but they were inexpensive, so I grabbed them. And figs were $10 for a box, which is pretty amazing. So I'll keep a box and I'll send a box over to the neighbour. And I grabbed a couple of the salad mixes from Costco. These were quite nice last time, just for quick and easy lunch, probably tomorrow. Honestly, that'll just be, done. That's the last of the fruit and veg, I think. We've got a few cold things here. We got a pack of puff pastry, a Grana Padano and some pizza cheese, a couple of boxes of the cheese Kranskis that we really like. They're the cheapest ones that Costco sells, but they're really nice. A cream in a can and some thickened creams and a thing of butter. We still have some in the fridge, just an extra. I also grabbed, this is something new, garlic butter spread, which just sounded nice, so I grabbed it. I've got that Turkish bread, and I bought the kids some eating yogurt as well. We have the Greek yogurt that they don't eat straight. We use it for the pancake bake, and we still have some left, but I bought them some yogurt they can eat as breakfast as well. Alrighty, next table. We're getting cluttered because we've got fruit and stuff still stacked here until we get the fridges sorted. So we've got 2 packs of the hot dog sausages that we really like, the chicken and pork blend ones that are really tasty. I got some of the chow mein noodles to do the crispy noodle stir fry. I got 2 bags of these wild caught. These are new. I hadn't seen these before, and they were on sale for $18 a kilo, and they come in 1 kilo bags, frozen green whole prawn. So I grabbed those. To give a go. I got the cheese Kranskis. These are really nice, but they're quite expensive, but they were $5 off. So I grabbed a pack of those for us to have. I grabbed a bunch of the cooking bacon just from Costco. Sometimes there's some, from Aldi. Sometimes there's some nice pieces in it. Like that one looks like it's almost middle bacon. And sometimes they're all just weird. I did open one at Mum's to try out the microwave grill plate thing, so that's why that one's open. The bakery butcher actually had these traditional bacon pieces, which are really thick cut pieces that will be really nice to dice up to use for cooking and stuff, and they were only $4.99 a kilo. They had chicken legs for $2.99 a kilo, so I grabbed 6 kilos of chicken drumsticks, and then I also grabbed 4 kilos of the skin on chicken breasts from there as well. I grabbed some pork loin back ribs, which are really nice. I did grab some square wontons and then a whole lot of the round gyozas because I'm going to make them in bulk this month, probably this week. I bought some of the Hidden Valley shredded parmesan. This is a really nice parmesan, but it is quite expensive, but it was $5 off on special, or a few dollars off, whatever it was cheap. I bought the kids, these were on special for about $11 for the 1.5 kilos of the dino nuggets, so I let Sonnet pick something that she wanted. That's what she bought for everyone. I grabbed a packet of the beer battered chips. They are $9.99 for 2 kilos of frozen chips. That's a good price. I grabbed only 1 rolled pork roast because what I decided to do this month with the new job and everything else is I bought pre-minced pork. Now these are $7.99 a kilo, and I use the rind and everything, which is why I like to buy them, and then I can choose how I want to use the meat. I don't have to use it just as mince, but I am going to be making all these gyozas and stuff, so I need mince. So instead of having to mince one up, I bought this ground pork, and it is $8.99 a kilo. So I'm paying $1 a kilo extra to have it pre-ground, but it was worth it for this trip. I also bought the beef mince rather than buying the beef trim because I need to make bulk bolognese, but I just didn't want the effort of beef trim in this particular period, and I'm going to use that for bolognese. And then I bought the frozen beef patties for burgers, which I would normally use with the beef trim that I minced, but these are really nice and they're a good price. I just grabbed this from Coles or Woolworths. It's got a bit of the blood from the beef on it. I'll have to give it a wash before it goes into fridge. It was something new, and I bought it for myself just to give a go because I really wanted to. I bought 2 of the seafood salad mixes to try a few different things with. The cheap parmesan I had already bought from Coles. I got a rib fillet, $34.99 a kilo from the butcher, and a rump at $19.99 a kilo as well. I grabbed the cheese slices that the kids tend to use and the block cheddar that we use for grating and slicing and whatever else. And I grabbed 3 trays of just skin off chicken thighs until I sort out my meat order. And that's pretty much it, other than Sonnet wants to show off the books and stuff that we got as well. Pork belly too. It was underneath something, so I didn't end up showing. Oh, and I grabbed some of the low carb wraps for Darryl too. I don't know why they got missed in amongst. They were sitting here on the table and somehow I forgot to say anything. This is what happens when you bring a child with you shopping, and it's also her birthday and another child's birthday, and this is a bunch of the school stuff. This was extras that I couldn't get on the click and collect, so this is just the extras to the box, which is all the other school stuff. So all the kids are into graphic novels at the moment. So what we're doing is we're trying to replace some stuff on the bookshelves with stuff that they will want to read. So we got the Real Pigeons box set of graphic novels were only $20 at Big W, which was a really good price. Sonnet really wanted the Wings of Fire one. We found that box set for $80 at QBD, which wasn't too bad. And all the rest of them are from like Big W, Kmart, Woolworths, Target, whatever. So they're all sort of $10 books, but they're all graphic novels. So they're the first of a lot of series, so that the kids can have a look at them. Yeah, that one's 27. But and then some of the ones that the boys know that they already like and things like that. So some colouring books as well. We got the hair dyes for the kids that need more hair dyes. Cat toys. We got new Uno cards, and I bought a carry bag for the cards so that we can keep them safe. That Sonnet grabbed those for her drive home, but lost them. Big W had the Coffee High Smile toothpaste for $3 on clearance. I don't know why, so I grabbed 4 of those. And they actually had this hair care, Sukin hair care for 50 cents on the counter, so I grabbed that. This was other school stuff that I couldn't get in the click and collect. Again, highlighters, they needed that for click and collect. Sonnet needed something she could use for water for her hair, so she picked that one. And she also picked a car Lego and a little positivity journal / diary thing, for which she'll probably use for school stuff as well. Oh, and her little mini stapler. So that was the miscellaneous stuff that Sonnet wanted to show off. Sonnet also got this giant panda for her birthday from her nana. So this like life-size panda toy for her birthday. So she wanted to show you it. Alrighty, so that was most of it. I get as much as possible to show for that, but sometimes there's some bits and pieces missing. Now, there was a few things that weren't grocery type things, but not many, and I passed on about $70 worth of fruit and veg to my neighbour. I bought those thermal mugs. I'm not sure what else, but generally speaking, I don't make too much effort of removing that. Sometimes in the Coles and the Woolies I buy dessert or dinner to cook for mum while I'm there as well, but I tend to just include it all because it's all part of the trip. It's all part of what I spend while I'm there, and therefore I count it as groceries. I include all our toiletries, any sort of consumable is part of our groceries because it's a consumable. So I have to buy toilet paper every grocery trip, so it becomes a grocery. I keep our shampoo and conditioners topped up every grocery trip, so they're a grocery. So I tend to keep all of that stuff as part of the cost overall, and I count that all in. So whilst there's some miscellaneous non-food items in there, I don't go to too much effort to differentiate it unless there's a significant cost somewhere there, like I bought something that is significant in the midst of it all. I would like to do a bulk meat order at some point, but the shipping charge has gone up with Meat Online, who I bought from before. And so to make it worthwhile, I need to buy around about 120 to 130 kilos worth of meat. And I just do not have that in the budget at the moment because I only want to spend about $1 per kilo on the delivery cost. Otherwise, it just doesn't work out worthwhile. It's already slightly more expensive, some of it, than buying elsewhere sometimes. But it's the convenience of I buy in, like, the chicken is 12 kilo box and it's frozen in 2 kilo pieces, 2 kilo bags, and it's very convenient to buy it like that. So for me, and that means I don't have to transport that kind of size quantities of chicken. I did go to the Ingham's outlet. Someone said I should go to the Ingham's outlet, and I had been once before. I decided to go. Sonnet and I finished up at Carindale at like 2:30, so we had time. But I didn't end up buying anything because I only had the one esky with me. So they did have some chicken bone-in pieces on sale, and they probably would have been very worthwhile. They also had some breasts in trays that were frozen, but I only had the one esky. And as it is, when I came home, it was pretty full, and I didn't buy very much meat. So I would have really struggled with getting anything bulk like that with me, which is partly why I was going to do the bulk meat order. Turkeys are walking past, so that I didn't have to worry about that because I only took the X-trailer and the trailer, and I bought the chairs and table and stuff for out here that we haven't put together yet. We've been tied up and it's so hot. But yeah, so anyway, grocery wise cost, I've got a little notebook here, so that's what I'm looking down at. So it looks like I'm going to do 6 weekly trips. I've filled it all out in a calendar, and if I go every 6 weeks exactly, it will be one during the term, one during school holidays. So that should work quite well. I spent $387.86 at Coles, $228.89 at Woolworths, $103.96 at Aldi, $1,140.04 at Costco, $354.43 at the butcher, and $4.71 at the fruit and veg shop. Now, I did on sale about $70 worth of fruit and veg to my neighbour. The Costco purchase, my rewards for my executive member rewards came up, and it was about $245 credit, which paid for my membership for next year, as well as about $110 off the shop, which is why it came down to the $11.40. The thermoses were about the $28, as I said, but other than that, I can't think of anything else that was significant that I purchased within the grocery shop as such. There was lots of things that were bought though because Sonnet was with me, so there was lots of bits and pieces that were purchased that I probably wouldn't normally, but she was there and it happened, so that's fine. The total of that was $2,588.18. So we're going to plan to work that out on a 6-week basis because theoretically all the shopping will be 6 weekly now. A lot of what I buy will last longer than 6 weeks because I like to top levels up in my pantry. So some of the stuff that I buy, I probably have enough already to get me through for the month, but this tops it up to give me a second month. As I talk about in my planning video, I like to have 2 grocery periods worth of food so that just in case I don't make a grocery run, there is enough there to get us through. We will not have enough meat, I don't think, for like a 12-week period though. We could possibly stretch it, but it'd be tough. So it worked out at $431.36 per week, based on it being a 6-week shop, which is $61.62 per person per week, or $8.80 per person per day, or $2.93 per person per meal. So I use these measuring sticks, and I work on 3 meals a day, and I average out the dollar value for those 3 meals a day. Now, of course, all this includes all the shampoos, conditioners, and everything else. This is purely a measuring stick. Obviously, our meals do not cost that per day because everything else is included. So I suppose I should look at a daily cost per person. Like I do that meal cost is just, as I said, a measuring stick. I like to see it. And it's gone up about $1 per person per day since back when I first started doing this. It has consistently stayed about that $2.90 instead of $1.90. I used to keep it under $2, but I was a little bit more careful with my spending, but also prices were just a bit lower. So $8.80 per person per day, and that covers all food that we eat, all laundry, personal products, all of that stuff. So if I keep that in mind, then I can compare it each month, and I can look at it and go, I'm still spending much the same amount of money. I'm not overdoing it. I'm doing okay. I'm happy with that. And we're still getting some luxuries in there. Everyone got some treats this month. There was some chips in there. There was all the Oreos. There was some extra meat. I bought the big rib fillet because Darryl is still trying to do keto carnivore as much as possible. So I bought the big rib fillet. The rib fillet from that butcher was $35 a kilo this month, which is pretty expensive, but it is a very nice cut there. But yeah, like we still are getting our luxuries, but we're still keeping that dollar value pretty low. I'm pretty happy with that. $4.31 a week for 7 people, and that includes nearly everything. I do budget in a little bit for IGA. I have a running cash flow, and it's daily. I update it every few days based on what comes in and out of the bank account to make sure that I have my sinking funds appropriate for my bills that come out. Like we've got rates due in March, and we have rego due in September, I think it is, and things like that. So all that sort of stuff is on that spreadsheet and is forward planned to make sure that there's enough money in the account for me to do that. Also, I bought the kids new computers for this year on interest free, so obviously the interest free payments are all collated on this daily spreadsheet, though at the moment it's a little bit fluid because I don't know what I'm getting paid for the new job, and my government money will reduce when I put a new estimate in with the job, so things like that. But anyway, so I forgot what I was saying. I budget in some money at the chemist, the IGA, the animal feed store, and the hardware store. So there is just a certain amount that is budgeted through on each month that I know that will probably be incidental spending there. And I think it's like $50 a fortnight or something I put towards the IGA just for, we buy cream for coffee, fresh from there, and we buy the occasional like lettuce or tomatoes if I need some for, if we're having hamburgers or something and I want some lettuce or tomatoes, the occasional loaf of bread if I haven't been baking bread and just to have toasted sandwiches easy, you know, all that sort of bits and pieces, the occasional snacks, chips and lollies for if they're watching a movie and we've run out of what, because the kids, all the snack stuff that I buy, mine lasts me all month. So I get the full 6 weeks. I've still got the lychee drinks from last month, some of them left. I think I've still got some lollies in a drawer that I bought myself last month as well. All of that lasts me the entire shopping period, but not the kids. Not the kids. Theirs is gone as quickly as I let them eat it. So sometimes there's some treats bought throughout the end of the month as well. If they go to church and they can get a couple of bucks to spend and bring stuff home to share and all that sort of stuff. So I budget that in as well. But generally speaking, this is everything we eat in the month. All the main food, all the main toiletries, all the main personal needs, all of that is included in these dollar amounts. So I have these measuring sticks just so that I know. So I did end up buying a fair bit of meat in the end, even though I want to do that bulk meat order because I'm just not sure when I'll be able to budget that bulk meat order in. So like we've got like 3 meals with those drumsticks, probably got 2 to 4 meals with the skin on breasts. There's probably 3 to 6 meals with thighs. There's the pork belly, there's the steak, there's the ribs, the meat patties, plus the mince for bolognese and the mince for gyoza and stuff. So we probably could get through the 6 weeks easy enough with what we've got and what's left in the fridge. But I do want to do a bulk order at some point because I do like having that extra meat in the freezer. We might need to get it sorted first though, because we've got a lot of fruit in the freezer now. So anyway, I think that's it. That's the grocery haul for January. And yes, the next one is last week of February, I think, will be the plan for the next one. But we'll talk more about that closer to the time. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys on the next video.